Hi all. In this video we're going to look at the 2010 Section B Question 1 higher level question. As you can see here, the graphic on the right shows Dublin's new rugby and soccer stadium. So this is just a 3D preview of it. The modern design is lower in height at one end in order to minimize the impact on local residents. So that's just showing that the slope here, like so. Figure B1 shows the plan and elevation of the portion of the model of the stand at the lower end. So your plan, your end view, and you're told then a pictorial view of the structure is also shown, like so. And then we're asked to draw the given plan and make a perspective drawing of the structure given the following information. One, that the spectator point is 1.8 meters from corner A. So corner A is our bottom corner here. The picture plane is touching corner A and the horizon line is 2 meters above the ground line. So we know our spectator is going to be 1.8 meters away from that. Scaled at 1:20, that means that we have this here and just add our zeros to convert it to millimeters. So that's 90 millimeters. So from A, we come 90 millimeters to find our spectator point, and our spectator height is going to be 10 millimeters above, or sorry, 100 millimeters above the ground line. So that is going to give us our basic setup. Looking at what the information that we have, we know that the angle of our kind of pitched roof here is 30 degrees. Because we're looking straight in at that side, we know it's going to be a true angle, so we don't need to worry about calculating our rise or a run or anything like that. We have our series of steps like so, but we have the heights of each of them, and we have the depths of each of them like so. So we have all the kind of main information that we need. Looking at what information we have, we don't need to go and redraw in the front elevation. We can get away with just drawing in the plan view. So let's just look at the basic setup of that. So there's our plan view like that. So there is our plan setup. We came out here our 45 degrees and our 90 mil for our spectator, and we go and locate the angle of our picture plane. So we take the widest portions of our object to our spectator, bisect the angle, and we locate our center line of vision. So there's our center line of vision, and then perpendicular to that, we have our picture plane going through corner A here like so. Now it's not far off joining to the corner, but it's very important that you actually go through that step there and determine the exact angle of it. So there's our picture plane like so. Because the entire object is behind the picture plane, then we know that it's going to be above our ground line up here in our auxiliary. So let's look at our setup for our vanishing points. We go parallel to our leading edge here. We have our second leading edge here, which will give us VP1. So we can set up our ground line, again, quite close to our plan view, like so. And we have our distance there of 100 mil up to our horizon line. So we can take our vanishing points up to our horizon line, and that locates us our two vanishing points 1, vanishing point 2 for lines moving in this direction and lines moving in this direction. Now we don't have any other directions on our plan view, so we're actually happy enough with those two vanishing points for the moment. So let's kind of create the main body of our object, this kind of series of steps, I suppose, is probably the best thing to start with. We'll begin with just corner A here like so, and because corner A is on the picture plane, we can use corner A as our kind of our starting point, and we can use that as our measuring post as well to put on the different heights for our different steps here like so. So that's what we say there. Let's just go through that. So we have our heights from our question that we were given, and we can mark them onto our measuring post like so. We can take each of them back along our side face here, because that's where each of these heights are, along this side face here. So we want to move in this direction, so we go to this VP1 here. So that's our base like so. There's our line going across the far side, so that's going across the front face here, and going to VP2. And then we can just work through each individual step. So there's the height of each of my steps going back to VP1, and then we can locate our position by taking the back of each step down to our spectator up where it hits the picture plane, and there is our step 1. We can go up to the height of the next step. We can locate the position of the back at the next step, bring it up, and there's our position at the back. Same thing applies. We can do the very back of the stand, down and up, and there's the back of the stand like so. We can bring it up then, giving us the height up here to our roof. We can also locate our position of our back point here. So there's the position of the back point, and we know that our position here, where our kind of little kind of sloping underside here happens is going to happen here like so. We know the height of this guy here is going to be in line with our second step. So that gives us enough information to complete the full side here, just less the roof portion of it. So that's quite a lot of our kind of construction so far. We can go and then maybe extrude it in this direction here to kind of get the front face of our piece. So across the front face is moving in this direction, so we move to this vanishing point here. So that's VP2. So like before, we're just going to find our position for the back edge, down and up. So there is our position there like that. So there's our line along the bottom. There is our step, and you can see the step is only going as far as here. It's not going the full length here like that because you've got the thickness of this wall here like that. So there's our step like so. So there he is like so. It's going to go up to our height here before it takes this slope back. So we have our height measured on our measuring post here, and we bring it across to give us our height there. And then we can just square that around, and that's our kind of plinth here like so. Then we can go and draw in the front of each of the steps, and just bear in mind the step isn't going all the way to our kind of far edge here, it's this edge here. So I'm going to go and basically work my steps by going from this point across, then up, then across, then up, then across. So there's my width of my step going across, taking my point here back to VP1, gets me the full step 1. Then we go up towards our height for our second step. That gives me the front face or the kind of riser of that. Then we go back again to the back for a step, and then up again, and we get the riser for the next step. So we're just basically kind of continuing on from the last build, building it up bit by bit to give us the overall steps like that. So there's each of our steps, and we can do the same with kind of the back here. There's our height, we go up like so, and there is our kind of back of our piece like so. So that's our back height. We can then take our back corner here, so that would be this point here, down and up, and that gives us enough information to give us the kind of the plinth portion of it here like that. So, all we've been using there is just going to our correct vanishing point and just using our kind of previous point to build on that. I mean, getting our location by joining down to our spectator and bringing it up, and getting our heights using our vanishing points to move us across in that direction. So next thing we'll do is we'll work out how to get this roof here, which we know has a true inclination of 30 degrees. So the roof is moving across in this direction here. So we're going to use our vanishing point 1 here as our baseline. So this line here is going to be our baseline. I'll just complete off the last little bit there, sorry. So just fade it out. So using our baseline here like so, we go 30 degrees off of that, and then where our line here, our baseline hits the picture plane, go perpendicular. It's slightly off the page here, but that's all right. We can take that height, and that gives us the overall height above vanishing point 1. Remember, vanishing point 1 is our vanishing point for lines moving in this direction. If it's on the horizon line, it's a slope 0. If it's going to be sloping upwards, it's going to be above the horizon line. If it's going to be sloping downwards, it's going to be below the horizon line. And in our example here, we're actually dealing with a line sloping downwards, because as it goes away from us, it's losing height. So the measurement we have here, we're going to mark below the horizon line. And then to draw in our slope lines now, all we need to do is say, well, we have our front point here, our back point here, that's this point here and this point here. All we're going to do is just simply take vanishing point 3 and just project them up through that. So that represents our leading edges here moving up. All we need to know now is the position at the front, which we have already, our corner A. So there is our corner A, giving us the full side of our piece here like that. And then just a case of squaring it around the front by going to VP2. Like so, and there's our back corner here, brought up, giving us the final position there. And you could go to vanishing point 3 up through your corner point here, or you can just simply join the two together. So that gives us our completed perspective. So, what's it doing? It's kind of putting together all of our different principles. We have our vanishing points, our auxiliary vanishing points. We're using, building up our object using one edge as a reference for the next edge. We're using our measuring post here in our corner A, and we're using our location by taking our corners down to our spectator and up again. So a nice example of just how everything is kind of brought in together in the one question. So hopefully this helps. And these are questions that you'll be doing with your own students, so it's worthwhile kind of been very familiar with not only the questions but how to explain and describe to your own students what's going on with them. So we'll leave it at that, and sure we'll look back again then at the next question.